Well, for more on this, we can now speak to Inga Trauthig. She is a research fellow at the International Centre for the Study of Radicalisation. Joins me in the studio now. Thank you for speaking with us. Indications are so far that Khalifa Haftar is probably behind this attack. We know that there was an escalation in airstrikes on Tripoli as part of his three-month offensive. What might the international response be beyond what we've heard so far?
So the international response, when you look at countries individually, what I've seen today so far, it's very clear it's a condemnation of the attack. We already heard Salameh, the special envoy to Libya, has been very clear in his words, saying the people who conducted the attack, the ones who ordered the attack, but also forces who delivered weapons to make the attack possible should be held accountable and penalized. So far, what I've been seeing from individual countries is a condemnation of the attack, saying it is not right to target civilians, especially this vulnerable population. Very few countries, among them Italy, has been calling out Khalifa Haftar and condemning him and his Libyan National Army as being responsible. Most importantly, however, for the international community is the United Nations. They're having the special meeting. I am very skeptical if the dynamics that have so far been dominating in the UN Security Council in particular will change.
By that you mean?
By that I mean Russia employing its veto power, for example, for resolutions that will call for an immediate ceasefire for the fighting in Tripoli. Plus, what we always need are follow-up actions, actually measurements to hold people and forces accountable, because...
Two big questions there. Will measures be taken to try and end Khalifa Haftar's offensive on Tripoli?
So what we've been seeing so far, as we said earlier, this attack is really embedded in this offensive he started in early April. We are now 3 months into the fighting, and his rationale to take over Tripoli quickly has not materialized. So if we look at the countries that we counted as siding with Khalifa Haftar, among them, for example, France, who has been supporting it, there is a question mark if maybe France, now seeing that his offensive is stalling, that he might not be the strongman that he portrayed himself as, might be shifting. However, there are very, very strong regional allies who back Haftar and see in him the vision that they also see for Libya.
And that's what's really fueling the conflict in Libya right now. You mentioned France's position. How can Europe play a constructive role in terms of pressuring countries with leverage inside Libya?
So I think actually you're picking up a really important point, because I see Europe in a very crucial role in this regard. Europe has been responsible for cooperating with forces in Libya who were not alleviating the situation for the migrants in Libya, but quite the opposite. There's no way for, or no improvement for controlled migration into Europe. Instead, migrants are intercepted and sent back to Libya. So Europe should really take on a leading role here and individually and together try to put on pressure on the regional powers who have, it's well documented by the UN panel of experts that they have been violating the arms embargo, and that cannot continue if not it's just fueling the conflict and leading to more civilian harm.
Thank you very much for joining us, Inga Trauthig, Research Fellow at the International Centre for the Study of Radicalisation.
Thank you.